Yes, I do. But it's usually with sticks and not with hooks, first of all. And second of all, this is like a new thing that I'm having to learn to make it look like this. And he was like, okay, that's cool. I just want you to know, like, making cool things with strings isn't like a new thing that you do. And I was like, okay, cool. I know. That's very nice. That's very nice. Thank you. Hi, thanks for joining me today. Today is March 3rd, 2024, and I can't believe March is already here. It's fake spring here in Indiana, where I'm located. Usually we have this yo-yoing that happens around this time of year where everyone is like starting to plant their stuff inside and get all rearing for spring, and then like it'll snow, and then we'll all be like, oh no, it's not really spring, and then it'll happen again and get even warmer, and then it'll snow again in April, and then finally we'll have real spring start in late April, early May. So this is our first fake spring that we're experiencing here, and it is very nice. We've been spending lots of time outside. Just sunshine has been lovely. I do miss the snow. I don't feel like we got enough snow this year. I'm one of those that really likes it when we get a lot of snow during the winter and a good hard freeze and everything. But I am excited about getting my hands in the soil and growing some things as well. I'm excited about that too. So let's go over February finishes. I have a few to show you, and then I will share the whips that I've been working on, and then just some March goals as well. Today I have another popcorn and cranberry garland. I made one of these in December to put on our tree, and I really liked it, so I made another one because I still had a bunch of yarn left over from that project. I still have more beads left over from that project that I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but I gotta use them for something because they're hanging around and kind of burning a hole in my supplies thing. Isn't that a funny thing? There are some things you can have in your supply and you can have them for a really long time and it does not matter, but then there's some leftovers that you're like, how can I use that? What can I do with that? And it really just takes up more brain space for some reason. Anyway, this is crochet. You just do a puff stitch and then you get a smaller crochet hook and put it through the bead and pull it through and then do another puff stitch. So on the tutorial, which I'll link the tutorial in the description box, like with all the other info for this episode, but in the tutorial, she does a puff stitch and a bead and a puff stitch and a bead, but I wanted mine to be quite a bit longer, and I guess I could have done more beads because I had beads left over, but I wanted to use as much of the yarn as I could, and I couldn't really figure out how that would all pan out. So I did one puff stitch, two puff stitches, three puff stitches, 2, 1, and then would start again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. So it's just over and over and over. This one's even longer than the first one, I think. I left the ends out because I don't know, not on this one. I did weave it in on this end, but I left the end out on this one because I'm not sure if I want to tie the two together or if I want to keep them separate. And I'm just going to leave that for next year when I'm decorating. I was planning on just putting these supplies in the Christmas box and doing this next year because I really enjoyed doing the first one during Christmas time. But I also I knew it was very unlikely that I would be able to find the tutorial for it next year sometime. I'm sure my brain will have moved on to other things. And so I didn't want to have to rely on my memory, and I didn't want to have to rely on some Instagram reel that I couldn't find from the year before. So I just decided to make it now and just be able to decorate with it next year. And I'm really happy with it. I like the colors. I've also seen people do these garlands with like all different colored beads, and it's just a garland for their like kids' room for decoration, and I think that's really pretty. I might end up doing that if I get any more bulky yarn in my stash. I think that will be a thing that I end up doing. That would be really fun to decorate with. This coming year, I have some goals around helping my kids decorate their rooms, and so if I am able to help them like paint things and yeah, just make it kind of their own, right? I think that'll become one of the projects this summer or something, is fun rainbow garlands for their rooms. The next thing that I finished were my heel toe do-si-do socks. These are a pattern by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady. They are really cute. The pattern on them is really cute. And it's just done with increases and decreases there. And the way that you resolve the increases is with some twisted stitches. And because I didn't factor in how that would affect my gauge, these did not fit me. I could barely get them on my feet. They were so tight. I should have made some allowances either in my stitch count or in my heel depth, I think, for them, but that's okay. I tried them on my daughter and she loved them. First of all, she was just all about them. You can tell I blocked this one, but I haven't blocked this one with this little rib is so good there. I'm gonna give these to her officially now. She's tried them on. I pulled back the little brown toe. It came with this mini, and I had originally knit it to the length of my foot and did a contrast toe as well, but yeah, they didn't fit me, so it didn't make sense to have them long enough for me. So I made them long enough for my daughter, and then I wanted to stop at this little blue stripe, and I had a little bit of an extra bit because I had to pull off some of this one to make it match there, because this is where the beginning of this skein started, so I wanted it to match there. So I had enough to finish this toe, but I didn't have enough to finish this toe. I had to put a little bit of one of the minis from my Sweet Georgia Advent in there, but she was totally for it. I asked her about it and said, hey, is it okay if I just put a little bit of sparkly yarn on the toe so that I don't have, it won't be like a dark color that's really obvious on the end? And she was like, oh mom, I love that. And I was like, okay, great. So these are little Janies and they're so cute. She really likes them. They are super long for her leg, but they're gonna be really cute long socks, especially in the spring and the summer for her. So these were a failure last month, but they're a win now. And I have enough. I have 21-ish grams of the repeats left. This is the Advent skein from Freckled Whimsy, and I really love all the colors there. There are all these different colors. I won't have this blue one in there again, which is, whatever. So it'll be a 23 stripe sock if I do them for myself. And then I have these, so these would match, and then these are just kind of leftover stripes I don't know what they're going to be put in, but that's okay. And then I've got a little bit left of the mini here. Just a teeny bit left there. I don't think this is enough to do, I don't think this is enough to do like heels or anything. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is do a toe up sock and do these as the toes, so that even if they don't make exactly like a whole toe, that's okay. If I'm a couple of increases away from what I would when I would normally start the main color, that'd be fine. And make some for myself and see what kind of pattern I do for those. I don't think I'm going to do the do-si-do socks again. I think with that yarn. I think if I do them again with a different yarn, I will increase my stitch count to 68. I like the way that my socks fit with my heel, the way that I do it, and so I think I just needed a little more room with those twisted stitches. So we'll try that again at some point. I showed you these last time because it was the very beginning of February when I finished these last time. So I'm just going to flash them up here. My grannies in a row socks. I still have them in the basket. I haven't worn them or anything because I'm kind of saving them to see if I want to give them as a gift. My sisters all have similar, well, except for one. One of my sisters has shorter feet than me, but the rest of them are very similar in size to my foot. So I can make socks for myself and then just kind of decide if I want to give them away to someone else. And I think I am going to do that with this pair of socks. So I'm just going to put it in the little gift basket that I'm going to be doing, which is crazy. That has been a goal for this year, that I would have gifts set aside for birthdays and Christmas and things, and I'm already doing that, which is fabulous. I'm not going to be saving Janie's socks for anything special. I'm just going to give them to her because she was so excited, but I will be with other socks and mitts and things like that. I think I will be just setting those aside because I always have these plans to gift my children things for the fall equinox, or to gift them things for Christmas or their birthdays, and I don't set aside enough time, and then my whole brain gets taken over with this one project that I want to have done in time for this special thing, and then the things that I've been wanting to work on take a really long time because I haven't been able to focus on them because of this other thing. And I don't like that flow. I don't like that at all. So I would rather just have things set aside for, people that I know are knit worthy in my life for when those things come up. My last finished object is my Stockholm slip over here. I finished it a couple of days ago. Let me see. I cast it on February 10th, and I finished it on the 26th. So I finished it in 16 days. It's rather short. I cropped it quite a bit. I think I might like, the only thing about the fit that I keep finding is I keep pulling it down a little bit, but I think that actually might be issues with the fit up here. It seems to be pulling, the neck seems to be pulling up, and so I wonder, I steam blocked it first. I haven't soaked it yet, and I'm wondering if I soak it and pin it out, if I would be more satisfied with how that looks. I think it would, I just wanted a little bit longer, just a tad. I did everything, all the edging on the armholes the way that is instructed. I did this neckline about twice as long because it just looked so thin. And then I did the hem longer as well. I did the ribbing on that a little bit longer as well. I had 2 skeins of the shepherd's wool Roasted Pumpkin. I really love this color. I think it's so pretty. It's a worsted weight, and I think the Stockholm Slipover is supposed to be a fingering weight plus a mohair, but I did a worsted weight plus a lace weight, and it was great. I held the shepherd's wool with Magpie Fibers Plume in Evil Beaver, and I love the way that it is on there. It reminds me of like a well-loved teddy bear, and it feels really, really nice. I knit the size large on a 4.5 millimeter needle, and I like the fabric that came out of that. I used all of the Magpie Fibers Plume. In fact, I was not able to use it on the little armhole edging or on the bottom hem. I knit for a while on here, and then I added this because I knew I wanted to be able to feel the cashmere on the neckline, but I wasn't sure how far that would carry me. So I just knit until I ran out of the cashmere, and then I started the ribbing with just holding the shepherd's wool with that. And I think it's pretty good. I wanted something that I could wear with dresses, and this is actually even a little shorter than what I would like to wear with a skirt, because it doesn't quite meet my natural waist, but I really like it. I wore it to the Children's Museum when I was with my kiddos. We went to the symphony together. We went to the Children's Museum together that day, and it was really nice. I got lots of compliments, and just on my outfit in general, and then specifically about my vest, and it was really nice. It's always fun. I was with my sister. I was walking with my sister, and a lady was like, "Oh my goodness, I love your outfit." And I was like, "Thank you so much." And my sister goes, "Yeah, she made that part." And I was like, "Thank you." Like, I was trying to keep it together, but thank you. She's really nice, though. She's the sister that's like I make stuff for all the time because she's just completely knit-worthy. Sorry, I'm trying to find my notes. Okay, and then I had one tidbit left over from January that I didn't finish. So I finished it in February, and I'm really happy with it. So I have this Forest Illumina cowl. I love this cowl. I wear all the time. It's absolutely lovely. The thing that I like about it is it stands up. So it's this double fabric, right? But then of course on the inside is all these coloric strands being run as well, and so it's just multiple layers. There's no wind getting through this thing at all. The one downside, and this is not about the pattern, this is just about my choices, I guess. This last time that I blocked it, can you see that there's like pink in the white here? And that's from this red, and that's just like it's like a knitted wit mini, and it bled onto the white. I'm so bummed about it. I don't think you can see it very well on the camera, but I can see it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, the thing that I did was I ripped out these moths. I pulled it back to here because it used to just be the black and the beige, the taupe thing there, but I really wanted to use like a little bit of a color changing yarn in the moths. I thought that would be really pretty. So I pulled it back, and I did it with a variegated yarn that I thought would be great, but there actually wasn't enough contrast with the beige, and so it was hard to see where the wings started and everything. So I decided to go with a spin cycle yarn, and you can see there's not much of a color change, but you can see that like there's some white down here, and it gets deeper and then lighter up there, and I really like that. I really like it better with that little variation in it. And just having some color on that part of it, I think, is really nice. This is their Overpasses colorway, but of course there's more colors in it than just that. But that's the part that I chose. I just started at one side of this skein and kept going. So I really like that. I am chuckling to myself because when I finished this last year, it was April. It was the end of April. And I wore it for a day, then I blocked it, and then it was like really warm. So I didn't wear it again until this fall. I have worn this thing so much in the fall and winter of 2023, 2024. Like MVP. This thing is an MVP. So I'm really glad I pulled it back to do the moths. I think that was just like the final touch that I wanted from this piece. And so there we go. All my tidbits so far are caught up, and that's really nice. I love when all my pieces are like the best that I could make them be. That's really great. Also, if you were around during my year-end recap, you'll know that one of the stitches from this sucker was dropped. I don't know what happened. I don't know how I missed it. I've been wearing it for 2 seasons now and didn't notice that. So when I pulled it back, I also went in there and caught that dropped stitch and secured it in the back. So that's nice. Don't have to worry about that anymore either. I was just like walking around with a little stitch marker stuck into the stitch so that it wouldn't drop anymore. It just looked like this little charm that was on my cowl. My sister-in-law totally knew what was happening. She was like, hey, you gonna fix that? And I was like, yeah, eventually. Everyone else just thought I had jewelry on my scarf. But yeah, now it's fixed and I'm so happy with it. I think knowing that that pink isn't as noticeable as I thought it was is nice as well. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe I'll do it with a color catcher next time or something. Also, it may have been that I did it in the water that was a little too warm. I think I did it in really cold water the first time, and that might be just my fault. Probably. I mean, who else's fault would it be, really? I'm the one who takes care of it, so. Okay, I have one finished sock here. I really love the colors of this one. This is from Mustache Yarn, and it's called There and Back. It's the Sport Weight 80/20 Merino Nylon blend. I really like it. There and Back is a reference to The Hobbit, because it's called The Hobbit, otherwise known as like There and Back Again. And so I did my own little contrast cuff here, and that is from my Sweet Georgia main skein from my Advent. So I just put that in there because I have plenty of that. And I did my main color here, the self-striping. I think it's so, if you know the story, then you know that like there's mountains in the Shire and this tunnel in the mountains, and so like you can see all the greens of the Shire, and then this is like the colors of the mountains and the tunnel that's in the mountain. It's just really fun. And I'm wondering too if some of these match the colors of the dwarves' cloaks. They're known like from afar by what color of the cloak like hood they have, and some of them have like a purple and green and things like that. I held my contrast cuff with a mohair on my heel and toe here because hobbits have furry feet, and also I've just been wanting to give myself socks with mohair toes on them because they are super warm. I've done them for my daughter and she said they're too hot for her, and so I was like, well, that just sounds perfect for me, then I should do it for myself. She only wears them when it's like snowing outside. I did the Hermione's Everyday texture pattern on here, but I did a tread heavy shadow wrap heel on this. So I just do a slip stitch, like knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one here for about an inch, and then I do the tread heavy shadow wrap heel, and then I do another inch down here, regular foot stuff happening, another knit one, slip one for the bottom half, and then the toe, and that wears really, really well for me. So that's what I did for these. I only have a cuff and a bit on the second one. That's all I've got going on. But I really enjoyed this last month, just doing a couple of stripes a day. I really enjoyed that. And I think I'm going to continue doing that. I might do more on certain days, but I really liked the low-key couple of stripes a day thing with the Hobbit socks. I'm reading Hobbit to my children right now, and so it's just been really fun to have. I have some literary knits that I'm doing this year, and I am really, really enjoying them. I just finished another book recently, and that makes my third book of the year, y'all. I have not read for pleasure in over 10 years, and I am totally digging it this year, totally into it. I'm loving it. I don't think I'm gonna get any type of prize for like my side of the family is doing a reading challenge this year, and so we have like a bingo card and everything, and it's been really fun to participate in. I don't think I'm gonna win anything. I don't think I'm gonna read the most books or anything like that, but I have really been enjoying participating in it. So I have just a little bit here. You can tell that there's this green is the last one, and so so it's this one here is the last one. So I don't have a full repeat of the colors left on this. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the leftovers. I've been thinking about making a pair of mitts with them, fingerless mitts with them, because I have made mittens for all of my kids, but there's something about fingerless mitts that are just so fun. And in the fall time, I feel like they're just the right amount of warmth. And yeah, so I'll probably do something like that. I am obsessed with the Hermione's Everyday texture right now. Because I'm obsessed with it, I am trying to chill out, because what will often happen is I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this pair, that way I'll cast on some fingerless mitts with the same texture on it, that'll be really good. But I already have a pair of socks that I'm doing that texture on as well. I put like a couple stripes on it this month. I love these colors. Oh my goodness. This is a Freckled Whimsy, I think it's called Hagrid's Pumpkin Patch is the colorway, and they're just so cute. I love them a ton, and I really like I still love the texture on these. I'll probably just continue with it on those, but I think I will wait. I will hold off to cast on the fingerless mitts, because I'll probably be satisfied with my Hermione's Everyday texture once I'm done with this pair of socks. Okay, the next whip that I've been working on is called the Sevilla Shawl. It's a test knit for Ellis Knitwear. I love this thing. I've put a lot of work into this month. It's very big, and it's going to be even bigger after I block it, because of course it's got some ribbed texture going on here. And so I think it's just going to get huge. I keep wrapping it around myself after I finish a few rows just to see where it's at. And even now, it's really nice. Even now, it's a nice size and really yummy. But I do have, I have more that I want to put onto it before the end of the test knit. The test knit ends in a few days, actually, on the 7th, so I've got about 4 more days before it just needs to be done and have some photos taken of it. I'm making mine with Knitted Held Double Knitted In, I have not used before. This is my first project using it. I was very nervous about the pencil roving situation. Very nervous about that. But I really am enjoying it. It's not breaking as much as I thought it would. And when it is breaking, it's not a big deal. I thought my first project, I thought I wanted to also hold with a lace weight, which I might still do. But this has been a lot less stressful than I thought it was going to be, just holding it double. I balled all of my yarn up double. I know some people are really confident from working from the plates and everything, and that's great, but I thought it would be good to follow the tips that I've heard from other people. I really love this color. I'll put the name of the color on the screen because I can't remember how to say it, but it's really beautiful. It's got these oranges and greens in it. It's really scrumptious. So from far away, it just looks like this beige, very neutral situation. But the closer you get, the more dimension and depth is there. And that, I really, really like that about their colors, that it just is, the closer you get to it, the more interesting it is. So that's really nice. My go-to way of doing it right now is having it in this ceramic bowl because it's so slick that I can tug on it and it just goes, and there's no resistance at all from it. I have about this much left, and I would really like to put all of it on there. So my goal is to just every evening try to do 12 rows. Obviously the rows get bigger as I've been going, but I think if I do that for the next few days, then I might be able to get through all of this. Speaking of literary knits, I have finished a little bit more on my, what I call my Caroline shawl. It's actually a shawl by Isabel Kramer called the Slip Stitch Party Shawl. I finished this whole section. I really like that slip stitch texture and how it pulls out. I cannot wait to block this thing. I'm so excited. Definitely going to be using some color catchers after my red and white situation with the Forest Illumina cowl. I finished that first section, and I finished it with I finished it because I ran out of the white. I was not at the stitch count that I was supposed to be at before I finished the section. So I'm probably just going to do some of these sections a little bit longer and eventually be up to the stitch count that I'm supposed to be at. I did these stripes and now I'm into the next slip stitch section. So I can't remember. Oh, it's here. I was down here before. So I did all of that and the stripes, and I'm in the new section. So that's really fun. I've been really enjoying this shawl. I was really enjoying reading the Caroline book because it's just really good. I really enjoyed reading it, and now that I'm done with it, I'd really like to get this done. One of my goals for March is to get both of these shawls off my needles. I don't know how well I'm gonna do in completing that because I have some other goals too, but I figure if I have those goals in front of me, then I'll be working on this first throughout the day and then move on to other projects before I, get all caught up in new things. So it's got this edge stitching that I really like on it. Oh golly, where is it? See, it just like travels along there. So when I block it, I think it's just gonna really shine. And I'm not worried about this like transition. I know it's a little bit stark, but when I've got it on, I just don't think it's gonna matter at all. Yeah, especially if I block it out really big. I don't think it's gonna matter at all. I'm really liking working on this. I don't know if it's gonna come out as big as the pattern suggests because I had to stop that section early, but even if it's not as massive as the pattern suggests, that's okay. It'll still be very functional. Yeah, so that's all for that one. I've got my blue and my brown now, which I am really enjoying. I have more than this, by the way. These are just the pieces that I've frogged off of other pieces before, and then I have more original stuff in a different location. I am really enjoying the textures of these non-superwash yarns. I really like them. It's just so yummy. Ugh, look at that. Even the wrong side is nice. Even the wrong side is nice. But the right side, of course, I prefer that right side. That's really pretty. I am looking forward to putting even more colors into it when I finish the brown and the blue. That's going to be really good. And then let's move on to the last work in progress. I am crocheting the Summer Fade Hexie blanket. And oh my goodness, I feel like I've leveled up. So this blanket has you attach these hexies together. I originally saw it on Knitting Natty's podcast, and I thought that is really cool. And she's doing like a more scrappy version because she's doing like a different colorway from each state that she's visiting in her van. It's very intentional. It's very cool. And I am following her notes for round 3. I'm not doing the extra round 5 that she added onto it. I'm just doing it to the pattern except for round 3, which I'm following Knitting Natty's notes for. This is so fun. So fun. And for those of you who are like, your hexies are curling. I know. It's okay because I already did one. I did like a little swatch for, I don't know where it is. Here it is. This is my little swatch that I did. Isn't it colorful and beautiful? I love it. I think I will put it in the blanket once I get to the part with all the colors. Just add it in. It'll be great. Maybe it's over there. I did a practice, and when I blocked it, it was perfect. It was great. So once I get this like washed, it'll be fantastic. I'm using some Barocco sock, which is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. I got this with a gift card that my mother-in-law got me for Christmas. I think that is a great blend for a blanket. And I'm going to be done with the first row, I think tonight. I have 2 more hexies to add, and then that will be the width of it. This is like the top edge. So I have this is a 4mm hook. It's a Prim brand hook. I really like them. They're marketed as ergonomic hooks, and they're very nice. It's this plastic hook with like a rubbery handle, and I find them really easy to work with. So I got the whole set the other day. I really enjoy them. I think the blanket is supposed to be a DK weight blanket, but I'm just holding 2 strands of fingering weight together. So obviously I'm not done with this hexie yet, but I'm just holding my 2 strands together with this. And I am on hexie number 12, I think. And these are my first 2 skeins of yarn. So I think I'm going to be able to make it with the yarn that I have, with the white that I have, to do quite a bit of the main color. I'll put a picture of what the blanket is supposed to look like here on the screen, because it's obviously going to be more than like, if I have this, then I can probably do like 20 more hexies. 20 plus my 13 is going to be 33. And I'm supposed to do 84 of these. So I'm not going to make it with what I have. Not at all, actually. So I probably have to go back and get some more yarn for the white portion of the blanket, but that's okay. It's fine. I'm really enjoying making it. I'm really enjoying practicing new stitches. There are 4 different stitches that you use in this, and I only previously knew 1. So I've had to learn 3 new stitches to accomplish this little... Isn't that just the cutest little thing? Look how cute that is. Oh my gosh. Adorable. So I've got quite a few ends to weave in, obviously, here, but I'm going to add my last 2 to the row here, and then I'm going to weave in all the ends for that row. I had it laid across our mantle because I was trying to just make sure that I had done it correctly, like that all the right sides were what the sides that were supposed to be there. And my husband walked in and he goes, "Are you making like a runner for this or something?" And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to make sure I did this all correctly, because it's a join as you go thing. So I wanted to make sure I was on the correct sides for it. It was funny too. I showed him the hexies at one point and I was like, "Hey, isn't this so cool? I'm making this really cool thing from strings." And he goes, "Yeah, that is really cool, but you make cool things from strings all the time." And I was like, okay, granted, yes, I do. But it's usually with sticks and not with hooks, first of all. And second of all, this is like a new thing that I'm having to learn to make it look like this. And he was like, "Okay, that's cool. I just want you to know, like, making cool things with strings isn't like a new thing that you do." And I was like, okay, cool. I know. That's very nice. That's very nice. Thank you. Okay, so March goals. First of all, I got to hunker down on this Sevilla shawl. First things first, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of this week until it's done. I just got to get it done by Thursday, and then I'll be golden. It is Sunday right now, so just got to keep swimming with that. After I finish the Sevilla shawl, what I want to do is to cast on my dad's sweater. I've been talking about my dad's sweater forever and ever, and I just really want to cast it on so that later in the month, in March, I will have at least like this much to be able to measure it on him when we have our camping trip later this month. We've got a camping trip. We're going to be going to the cabins all together. My parents have that was their Christmas gift to us, was that we would have this trip together in March, which is really great. But I'd really like to be able to have the sweater like connected at the top, the pieces connected at the top, and have it far enough so that I can decide if the sleeve depth is correct. And then of course, once I get that done, I'll just be knitting the body until until I'm satisfied with that. So I want to get the yoke done on Dad's sweater, and I also would like to finish Sarah's Christmas stocking. One of the things that I would like to do, my sister asked me if I could make Christmas stockings for her and her family, and I think that's just so great. I'm really excited about it, but I just keep putting it off. And she purchased some of the yarn that I'm using for it, and so I just really want to make good on like that agreement that I made with her. She is also hoping to needle felt some cool like snowflakes on it, and she's got her own craftiness that she wants to add to them when I'm done knitting them, which I think is going to be great. And if I finish a stocking in March and a stocking in June and a stocking in like August or September. Then I'll just have one more left to do for December, and I feel like I could push through for that to have those ready for Christmas for them. I have about an inch of the stocking happening here. That's great. I'm glad I cast it on, but it's obviously not enough to just kind of coast with it and just be like, oh yeah, I'll get it done eventually. That's not what we need from this project. I need to focus on it so that I can at least have one of them done, you know what I mean? That's what I would like. My stretch goal for it is to have all of the Christmas stockings done by August so that I can just ship the Christmas stockings to her when I send her her birthday gift. Her birthday is in August, and I always knit her something. I've been doing that for the past few years, and she just really, really enjoys it. And she's a lovely person to knit for, so I'd really like to just be able to put those in there so that if she wants to, she would be able to work on like the little embellishments that she wants to do for them for Christmas. This one is going to be white and blue. I've started using some old Let Lopey that I had laying around. I think this is like light ash heather or something. I do not have the ball bands anymore. I don't think. She really likes things that have a more natural feel to them, and I thought, what is more natural feeling than Let Lopey, or looking than Let Lopey in this instance with the light ash heather. So I'm going to be combining this with Knitting Nakabi's Cookie Monster color, and then we'll have the blue and white for Sarah's Christmas stocking, which I'm really excited to just get into the color work portion of the stocking for that. So I've got 3 goals for March. I have other stuff I'm going to be working on. Obviously, I want to finish the other sock for the Hobbit sock. I've still got the goal of finishing one of the 2023 whips every month. So the Grannies in a Row socks, I counted those for January, and then I am counting these Advent socks for Janie as for February, because I finished them in February and they were a whip from 2023. So I might pull out another pair of socks. The one issue I'm having with the goal of finishing a 2023 whip every month this year is that I am only reaching for the socks. That's cool, that's fine, but I'm always, if I have a pair of needles open, if I have a pair of sock needles open, I just cast on more socks. So I think one of the things that I want to do is try to just save my sock needles, just put them away, and I can look forward to casting on more socks for summer sock camp. I love participating in summer sock camp. I got more socks out of my cast-ons for summer sock camp last year than I ever had before. I really like participating in that knit along. I don't think I think I did like one post about it on Instagram. I'm really bad at the online participating. I do really well with like the knitting part of the knit alongs, but not with the online participating part of it. Do you have that issue? Forgetting to put your entries in? Anyway, I have 2 shawls, 2 hats, and maybe 2 pairs of socks. Maybe 3 pairs of socks left over from last year. So that's not that bad. I just don't know if I'll be able to accomplish March goals and get a 2023 whip done again this month. But I'm going to try. It's okay. I'll get it together And even if I do just do all the socks first and finish them, who cares, right? Like, I can work on the shawls eventually. It doesn't matter. I have been putting a little bit of work into my half and half wrap, but it's just every once in a while when my kids need me to stay upstairs with them while they fall asleep. So there's not any, what do I want to say? Progress that you can actually like see on that. So I just keep it by my bed for when the occasion arises for that. And eventually I'll get through that first color, but we'll see. We'll see. The last goal I have for March is to just make a decision about what I want to cast on with my yarn that I got from the Green Mountain Spinnery. I have this yarn that I've purchased, and they're like souvenir yarns. So when I was in California, I purchased some yarn, and I haven't cast that on yet. When I was in New Hampshire, I purchased some yarn, and I haven't cast any of that on yet either. I love enjoying it being in my stash. I think that's really fun. But I also, the reason that I bought it is because I liked it and I wanted to cast it on. So I'm struggling with some pattern commitment right now. And that's okay. Eventually I'll figure out what I want to do. But that one is also, I know I'm going to really like working with it. I know I'm going to really enjoy knitting it up. And so I really want to just know what I'm going to make with it so I can move on to the part of enjoying working with it. Does that make sense? Yeah, it totally makes sense. I just feel stuck in that part right now. I'd really like to get some specific knits finished for our camping trip in October. My husband and I really liked taking the kids camping last October. Migraine ending the camping trip aside, I have some plans. I think if I really am quite mindful of when we go, making sure that we're not going when it's super duper cold in the year. And because in October at night, it can just get so cold. And for me, if I get really cold and there's no like hot shower available, or even just, you know, when you're around a campfire, there's some warming up you can do, but it's in my bones at that point. And I sound like I'm 74. I'm 37, but it's in my bones, and I can't figure out how to get warm enough. Maybe I should just start drinking coffee, even though I don't like it. It would warm me up anyway. So I'm gonna keep thinking about that. I know that my mohair toe socks are gonna come in handy for camping. I think also having my cowl with me is gonna be nice. But last year I burrowed into it really often in the evenings, and so my chin was all raw because the yarn, it's not super soft. It's this Patton's Croy yarn, and it's sturdy yarn, and so it rubbed my chin all raw by the time the end of the camping trip came around. Well, I think that's it for me this time. I am really looking forward to seeing what I get done in March. At the beginning of the month, I just get so excited at all the possibilities that there are for my time and how I could use it to make beautiful things. I would like to sew a little bit this month, but honestly, I don't know if I'm going to get around to that. I have, some real hyper-focused stuff that I have to do, and that's great. And I feel like I am able to choose what I focus on with my crafting, but because I have to choose to focus on those things, I don't feel like I can pull myself away sometimes to sew. I really enjoy sewing. I did sew some bathroom curtains actually today, and they're beautiful. I love them a lot. They're very gauzy, and they're for our new bathroom. I will put some footage of our new bathroom in. My husband just finished it. It's gorgeous. He ripped our bathroom down to the studs oh gosh, months and months ago, because there was mold in the wall, and we were both like, that isn't gonna fly. So he gutted the whole thing, and now it's beautiful. And I'm so excited to take a shower in there. Like, it's gonna be really nice. But anyway, I think I will bring this Sevilla shawl into the front room and get to knitting on it, because I haven't even done my 12 rows for the day. So I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.